Hey guys, it's AP Gains here, and today we're going to be talking about the early to mid-game teams that you should be using in Grand Arena to get 60 or higher banners. Let's take a look. Alright, the first team should come as no surprise to most of you, unless you're starting brand new basically. It's Bastila-Shan-led team with Jolie Bindo and Grandmaster Yoda. Now, this team is good for high banners. I'm talking 60 plus banners, because the initial protection up you get at the beginning of the round is often not ever depleted if used on an appropriate team. So oftentimes when I used this team back in the, I'd say 800 to 1.2 million GP team area, rather, I would use Bastila-Shan, and I'd actually take Jolie Bindo out and just use the two of them for, what would that be, 62 banners, or 63 banners, actually. Yeah, because if you take one out of 64. So 63 banners if you use just these two members because of the protection up. And if you go against a weak enough team, I mean, Yoda can basically kill them all by himself, and it should be no trouble. Once you get higher up, I'll recommend some other teams, but for you beginners, this is the high banner team for you. Second on our list is going to be the Bounty Hunter team. Now, this team consists of Bosk lead with the Zeta. The Zeta is the important factor when determining how much banners you're going to get, or how many banners you're going to get, because I can speak proper English. Because the Zeta allows you to recover health and protection when applying debuffs or them getting resisted, so that Zeta is necessary. Django, Boba, and Dengar. You might be thinking, why Dengar? Dengar is hard to get. He throws out his bombs, which basically give you a bunch of extra debuffs, so you can get that last second health and protection recovery. I like to even take them out if I know my bounty hunters are geared up to a point where they're going to dominate the other team. I come out with Bosk's taunt, and then I use a big hit from Django or Boba. Use my net to get a bunch of hits on the weakest target. You know, I start rolling, I get my contract, and then I save the burn and the AoE assist, or the AoE ability block from Boba, till the end to get some more health and protection back. And I usually get 62 banners. I usually get 62. That would be, oh my god, I can't count. 60, 61, 62. Yeah, I get 62 banners with this team because I always end with full health and protection, so this team is great for you. Next on our list is our Jedi Knight Revan-led Jedi team. Now, of course, this is very similar to the Bastila-Shan team. This is a step up in terms of just pure power. So once you're a later game, this team will probably be more effective for you. And they get their protection, their health and protection recovery on assisting. Therefore, you have Bastila-Shan calls assist, Jolie calls assist. Grandmaster Yoda can call assist if you pass whatever the last special ability Jedi Knight Revan has. You could even throw in, like, I don't know, literally anyone else who calls an assist, General Kenobi or something like that, to get more assisting, but usually I run these four. Now, the reason I use this team over Bastila-Shan team is because they are more efficient in longer battles, so you're taking more damage. So if I went against a relic, General Grievous, for instance, I would use this team as opposed to Bastila-Shan, because Bastila-Shan will eventually lose all of that protection up, and then he won't be able to get high banners. But because of his mass assist and his leadership ability, you know that you're always going to likely end with 61. If you use full team, 60. If you use only 3, like if you take Jolie out, you'll end with 62 banners. So this is definitely a very high banner team for you later game players. Next is a team that I talk very highly of because it's one of my favorite teams in terms of low input, high output. What I mean by that is you don't need to specify a ton of gear into them. As you can see, I've leveled up to Gear 9, Gear 12, Gear 13, Relic 1. This team was just as effective for me scale-wise, like GP to GP. It was just as effective for me when I was at 1 million GP and these guys are all Gear 8, than when I'm at like 2 million GP now, where one's Relic, one's Gear 12, and one's Gear 9. The reason this team is so important for high banners is because if we look at Chewbacca's Zeta, Loyal Friend, which is highly ranked on my Zeta priority list, it basically gives you 3% health protection recovery every time he attacks. And of course, with only 3 of them, he attacks every time Han Solo attacks and every time Luke Skywalker attacks. Therefore, he's assisting a lot, and he has that big AoE, so you're covering a ton of health and protection. If you use this team wisely against a team that it's especially potent against, like a new Gunray team, a Separatist team, you're always going to come out of there with 62 banners. Next is Darth Traya, so the Triumvirate. The Zeta, of course, is important Compassion's Weakness, because this is going to be your solution to Geos. This is going to be your high banner solution against Geos, because once they get leveled up enough, Geos can be super annoying, but once you get your guys like Gear 11, Gear 12, you know you're going to be able to 3v5 all Geos, and this is going to be your best shot at high banners against Geos. Now, if they have a nice spy, like a Relic 5 plus spy, you're going to get a big hit, so put some crit avoidance on Scion, maybe even on Trey and Nihilus, but likely speed instead of that. But this is your only high banner solution until you get to really high levels. You can use like Darth Revan or like high banner wise, this is probably your best bet for a long time. Last and certainly not least is the king of high banners, aka Mr. 64 banners every single time himself, Darth Vader. Now, Merciless Massacre, of course, is important for this because it allows you to attack everyone. If you relic him early, I highly recommend getting this guy reliced as soon as possible, because this is a guaranteed 64 banners every single time. I have never once used a Darth Vader solo and not gotten 64 banners. You wisely pick a team that you know he can destroy before they get a turn, and you are guaranteed 64 banners every single time. And if your opponent doesn't use the strats, use the teams I talked about in this list, even if they can destroy your teams, they're not getting these 60 plus banners, 62 banners average every single time. Every single time. Now, we need to remember ships, because Grand Arena can often come down to a ship battle. I highly recommend Home 1 Lead, or capital ship rather, Houndstooth, Millennium Falcon, and it depends on just how powerful. Usually, as far as I've scaled with these 3 ships, I would throw Ahsoka in there, and I would 3-man it and bring in Anakin just in case like there was a very tiny, minute chance that I would lose one of my ships. But now I'm starting to get to the point where a Relic Anakin just does so much damage, and once he's at 7 stars, I'll bring in a Falcon, Tooth, and Anakin, and just do so much damage early that they won't even get a chance to reinforce. So if you use 3, and you can throw in a 4th just for security, you're guaranteeing 62 to 64 banners every time. And like I said previously, your opponents just can't keep up with the high banners. You'll never lose. You'll literally never lose.